Oh,
Caleb.
hey, before we go on to that, since we're still talking about stables, and I don't know if you had a
Sure.
chance to talk about this, but I haven't even talked about it with Joe or Kev or anybody
Let's
yet.
go.
But MVP kind of had a string of tweets, or it might have been on Instagram. I'm not exactly sure which social media it was,
Yep.
where people were randomly asking him, like, "Hey, is the group getting back together again? You know, is the Hurt Business ever going to come back together again?" And he kind of pointed fingers at Triple H and WWE, saying they don't want it, that they're
Yeah.
not interested in the Hurt Business anymore. And I mean, I saw people saying, "Hey, if you're going to bring back the Hurt Business, you got to bring back Shelton Benjamin. Like, hey, bring back Cedric Alexander, put these guys back in together." And MVP, I mean, honestly, I a couple of years ago, I really named him the manager of the year because he was doing so much with the Hurt Business that he surprised the hell out of me with how talented he was and how much he got guys like Bobby Lashley and Cedric and Shelton over. And it was such a good looking group. And even when he went to Omos to a lesser extent, he tried doing his best to get Omos at least some of that charisma that he naturally has. But how did you feel upon reading some of MVP's? I don't know if you did or not. Actually, I
I
should say that.
did. Yeah, I did. And I'm actually glad you brought it up because I have it. I have another tweet here as well. If you see, boom, it popped up right there. Perfect timing. So MVP also says it's a true story. So someone insinuated that basically with the Bloodline, someone wrote, they took your gimmick and crew and gave it to the Bloodline. That's what happened. You guys are so cool. The suits, the attitude, and gold, a complete unit. And then MVP even said true story.
Wow.
So he even went a step further, just to add on to what you were saying. And he goes, yeah, like they jacked it and gave it to Bloodline. Now, I don't know, bro.
Emotional damage.
Listen, man, the bloodline's blood, dude. So you can't even like that's written in the it was written in the stone, like that's like
Yeah.
carved in the tablets, written in the annals of time, and it's been trickling down, truly the roots have been implanted in the earth, and this bloodline family tree has grown and spurned out, and they have a million cousins who are all
And I
top
don't see
notch.
that. I don't
Yes,
see that. Like, I mean, no disrespect to MVP, but
exactly.
I don't
That's
look at
it.
the Hurt Business and Bloodline and think, "Oh, that's the same group."
Me neither. Me neither. What I feel like is he should be more offended at like this knockoff Hurt Business that Lashley's doing with the Street
Oh,
Profits
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and BFAB right now. Like that should just be like the Hurt Business 2.0, and MVP should be managing them and
Yes.
bring them all back. I loved the Hurt Business though. I'm not hating on them, but yeah, he seems like sour grapes basically, and then to also go like, oh, they jacked the bloodline. I just think that's kind of silly, dude. That's
Maybe
I
they
don't know.
know something. Maybe he knows something that we don't. Obviously, he's involved in those creative meetings too, when they're
Mhm.
telling him what the direction is for the Hurt Business and for him too. But I think it's such a waste that MVP isn't on our TV more. I really do.
I do too.
The guy really busted through with the Hurt Business, and at a time too, Phil, that Raw was hurting. Raw was
Mhm.
hurting pretty
Yep.
bad, and one of the highlights of Raw was seeing MVP bring out the Hurt Business and them talking a bit. And I even liked when MVP stoked the fires with Bobby Lashley and turned him into Savage Bobby Lashley. I
Mhm.
don't think Bobby Lashley is a great promo in general. I really don't. That's just my
Me neither.
personal feels. But when he becomes Savage, Angry Hulk Smash, Bobby Lashley, he is one of the most entertaining guys on television. And
Yep.
MVP was a guy who could regularly bring that out of him. And I see that and I'm like, wow, what is WWE missing? What is the creative staff portion of WWE missing where they look at guys like MVP and Bobby Lashley and all this unity that they had and just say, not worth it. You
I
know?
don't know, and you're right, there might be something deeper there, and you gotta think back to when, possibly MVP was, like, on the roster with Triple H back in, '08, '09. What was that era there when MVP was more prominent in WWE? Was that, like,
Yeah,
2007, I wanna say around there?
ruthless. Yeah.
Yeah, the ruthless aggression era, and I wanna say too, shut him out for that too, because that was a time where when things started falling off, like, he was a character I could get into, like, back then,
Sure.
he was the first guy doing, like, the ball and things, so I've been a big fan of MVP for a long time, a lot of my, younger years as well. I don't know, man, it's unfortunate to see this. Yeah, as far as Lashley, though, he needs a mouthpiece, I fully agree. I like Savage Lashley as well. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's just unfortunate. There could have been something backstage. I'd like to think Triple H is like above and beyond that now because of he squashed with CM Punk, obviously, and stuff like that. So I would like to think he's wouldn't hold something like that, but there could be something there as well. We don't know.
Right.
And but I agree with you, man. I don't know how you're just sleeping on the Hurt Business, especially with Triple H. He was on Pat McAfee and he was talking about, hey, there's the Wyatt Six and there's the Bloodline, and you could get faction warfare. And I was talking with Evil Dose the other day on the live show, and he was saying, he's like, yo, before we get Bloodline versus Bloodline, he's like, we're gonna get new Bloodline versus like Cody and the Avengers, right? Faction warfare, and then we're gonna get Bloodline, and then Triple H is alluding to we could get Wyatt Six Bloodline. And I even said, hey, we could get 3 bloodlines going at it. And Hurt Business in a land of factions, why don't you have them in there?
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this too, because I've been seeing this already starting to trickle around.
Yeah.
Too many factions? WWE doing too many factions? A little bit too much of yesterday, today? Or is this just the right amount?
No, I think what they're doing right now is working, and I think it's the right amount. Now, this is where it's going to start getting this is where it just starts getting, and this is what AEW's proven time and time again. I hate to lower one to raise the other, but I have to. Just the best example, like Tony Khan will start doing 6-man tags where it's like Roderick Strong, he's in a faction of 5 guys, and then he's teaming up with Fletcher and Takeshita, who are in a faction of 4 guys, 4 different guys. Like they're in all different. So if WWE starts going, yeah, tonight we have a 6-man tag where like this guy from this faction and these 2 other guys from this other faction are fighting these guys from no faction, or something, that'll start pissing me off. Once they start, when factions start factioning up, then I'm gonna go, whoa. And as long as we don't get NWO, where there's
right. Yeah.
Judgment Day Red over here and Judgment Day Blue, as long as we're not going down that road, I'm cool with it. I'm even cool with like, I like how the factions are different too. Like Judgment Day is a group where people come and go, sort of like the Bloodline, but it's all Bloodline related or like adjacent. Whereas in Judgment Day, it's like, they kicked Edge out. Damian Priest is probably going. JD joined up. Carlito could be in. Cool. For me, I'm cool with it. So,
R-Truth was in and then out. I'm with you on that. Right. I do like the ebb and flow of Judgment Day. Yeah, I agree with you. I do feel like Damian Priest is eventually going to get wormed his way out, whether it's by Dominic or whether it's by Finn Balor. I think that his time is coming up. And I also think that Ripley will eventually separate from the Judgment Day, maybe even when she comes back, if only because everybody in the Judgment Day, especially Dominic, got these just huge boos, these huge jeers. And every time Ripley came out, people would lose their minds for her. So it was very odd to watch 2 people in the same group get such polarizing reactions. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I like that the Judgment Day is not just a stable, if anything, it's unstable because of the way that everything is designed. And it's more of the idea of what Judgment Day is supposed to be, as opposed to a completely linear group.
Dude, you said that so well. It's like unstable. Exactly. And dude, all I'm saying, when Liv takes Daddy Dom and takes over Judgment Day from Rhea, that's all I'm saying, man. She's going to be calling for help, bro. That's all I'm saying.